Is this you? Do you find that someone in your life requires more and more caregiving than ever before? Have the roles reversed in midlife so that you find yourself being the caregiver for an adult in your life? I think it's becoming more and more common as we find ourselves in this position in midlife. So Karen and I'm Suzanne Jofrion, and Karen Leanne and I have formed MidLife Besties to bring pertinent conversations to all of us who find ourselves in these positions. Let me get Karen on, and first of all, I'm going to introduce our guests that we have coming on today. We have Suzette Katapodes and Ruthie Gray who are going to join us. And let me get Karen on. They are both living this lifestyle and have for some time. So let me get Karen on. No. Let me get Karen on. And let's see. Karen on. I've got to remove that. I'm sorry. Move the graphic. Stop sharing. Hey, Karen.
Hey, good morning.
People don't realize all these different things that go on.
I know, all the multitasking that we have to do.
Right, it's true, which is, a really good way to introduce what we have going on today, multitasking. So why don't you introduce our guest and we will get going.
Yeah, so my name's Karen Leanne, and Suzanne and I, like you said, do MidLife Besties chat. And we actually are going to be talking to both Ruthie Gray and Suzette. And we're so excited because I'm in the same situation. I'm in a caregiver situation right now. So I've been really looking forward to this. Hi, Suzette.
Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good morning. So we're getting, here comes Ruthie
Gray. Is she coming on?
Let's see. Almost. I don't see her yet.
I don't know if you can hear me. Should I put headphones in?
You sound
Yes, we can
great.
hear you.
Yeah, you sound great.
Great. Okay, good.
Yay, there we go. Oh, this is good. Hey, good morning, Ruthie.
Hey.
Hey, Ruthie.
The crowd is here. Yay.
Yay, or afternoon, I guess.
Still morning for me. I guess all you guys. Yeah.
Well, welcome, gals. I'm really, really looking forward to this conversation. And I know I had put a poll up earlier asking, are you in this situation in midlife? Is it something that you're planning for? Or, so there was a lot of gals that had commented that, yeah, they are in this. So I hope they're joining us today.
Yeah.
So I am a caregiver myself, my husband and I. Our oldest son has a severe mental illness, and he's 34. He lives with us full time. So I would really like to know, because I'm looking forward to this, is kind of give us both of you maybe take a turn, give us a glimpse into your caregiver roles right now. What does that look like for you? Both.
Go ahead, Ruthie.
Well, my caregiving role has changed quite a bit in the last couple of years. As my dad passed away during 2020, COVID, all that. Mm-hmm. But I still have the care of my mom. So I've been caregiving them for 12 years. Mm. And I was 48 when it all started. And I was trying to finish homeschooling my two girls in high school. Mm. And it just happened one day out of the blue. There was a stroke. She had a stroke. He had a car wreck. 3 months later, it just unraveled. It was just like this tumultuous thing. Every time I turned around, it was just a new disaster. It was emergency room visits and doctor's offices and healthcare facilities and all that. It just blew me away. I was just not prepared, and I'm an only child. So
okay, Suzette, what about you?
Yeah, I can relate, Ruthie. My dad became ill, and I would say in my early 30s. Actually, we went to visit him the day after we got married in our wedding clothes. We redressed to go visit him in a rehab before we got changed to travel clothes to go on our honeymoon. Things kind of progressed over the years, and by my mid 50s or early 50s, I was halfway through a master's degree and I had to take a year off because his disease had progressed, and mom needed help and he needed help and all of that. And then he eventually passed away. And then our care got redirected more to mom. And she was actually doing pretty good, living on her own in a senior building with my sister, who has Down syndrome and Alzheimer's. And then she had a heart attack. And then we went through that. Then she had a bad fall, and we went through that. And that took several months to recover from both of those events. During that time, my sister came to live with us.
Okay.
And the second time, we kind of convinced mom after rehab. She said, okay, I'm ready for Michelle to come home now. And we had to kind of say, maybe it's better for Michelle and for you, for her to stay with us. And you can, go to bingo without having to bring a whole nother person. And you can do your own thing and have some fun, and we'll take care of Michelle. So we took care of Michelle at home for about 5 years. Okay. And we just recently, 3 weeks ago, moved her to a nursing care because it was just too much for my husband and I physically to do, and her medical needs increased.
Sure.
So now we're getting used to caring for her in a different way.
Right. These are such huge jobs for someone to do on their own. Mm-hmm. I'm not currently a caregiver, although I've worked in a facility before that was, just a day center. But I can see it as a possibility in our lives as my in-laws are, getting older and older. I don't know that they would live with us, but it's a possibility. So what are the ins and outs of caregiving that you would recommend that other people consider, even in getting prepared to be in this role?
Gosh. Yeah, get prepared before the crisis. I would say be prepared before the crisis. One way you do that is to take care of yourself every day, so that you can be, you benefit from that too, but to be prepared beforehand and just be mindful, of what's going on in their lives, pay attention to see if their habits change, housekeeping, bill paying, grooming, cooking for themselves, what's in the refrigerator, because you can kind of, by looking at when things are in good shape, when they start to decline, you can put things in place to help them maintain some independence. And also, you warn yourself it's time to take some steps and when that might be right.
Mm-hmm. Ruthie, how would you answer that?
Well, and you don't know when it's going to happen, but as soon as you can, get the power of attorney.
Yes.
Because that's what I got thrown into right in the middle of all of it. And neither one of them, I realized, were really being proactive about their health, even though they were taking the precautions to go to the regular doctor's appointments. They weren't listening to their bodies, and they weren't conveying what was happening because they just didn't know. And neither one of them was really in tune with the other one for that.
Right. So
after their emergencies, I thought that I was going to send them back to go with each other to the doctor's appointments. And no, Dad would just sit out and Mom would go in and she didn't know what to say. And I'm like, okay, it sounds like I've got to step in here now. This is my job.
Right.
So just be like Suzette said, you have to have your radar up and be proactive and willing to step in, even if it doesn't fit into your schedule, and it won't.
Right.
That's the plan.
Yeah. How do you deal with that if, so is the power of attorney, is that something that maybe you could now when things are good with parents, and is that something that you could discuss and maybe plan ahead for together? Is that something that maybe we could bring that, how do you bring that up with your parents or with an adult family member?
Well, that's difficult, especially if there are siblings. You need to talk to the siblings first, I think, and just try to get everybody on the same page. I don't have siblings, so I just got to do it on my own. Yeah. But the hospital, it had to happen in the hospital for me. So they helped me. They helped walk me through what needed to be done. And it really wasn't that difficult. Sure. But if at all possible, if you can have, and it's hard because your parents don't want to, if it's parents that you're dealing with,
right,
they don't really want to talk about it or give that up. But
Yeah.
He's
That's
mental.
very true. We already had one in place for my sister. My parents had taken care of that years ago. And then when my dad passed away, we started to talk to my mom to say, okay, what do you want, in the event of your death, especially after her heart attack, I want to say, because it's like, okay, that was a real event that said, okay, something could happen to me. Who's going to take care of Michelle? So we were fortunate in that regard. And my brother and I have always been on the same page, and we worked together with them. And yeah, we just had to make some changes in that case, not start from scratch.
Sure. You mentioned self-care, and that is so important to have that set in place already. Are there particular things that you all do? How do you set boundaries? How do you make sure that your self-care, because you can't care for others if you're not caring for yourself, right? So, how do you implement that?
Well, that's a habit a caregiver has to learn to adopt.
Right.
That's what I think. I don't know about you, Ruthie, but you have to make yourself do it. In the beginning, you don't even think about that, especially if you're in a whirlwind. I'm losing light here. Especially if you're in a whirlwind here and everything is going on, right? You don't think about that, but you really need to consider it because, as you said, you can't take care of someone else if you're falling apart. That's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So I believe that even a few minutes a day are cumulative. That's my belief. It's cumulative, and it will benefit you over time. And the more you practice it, the more it will become part of your practice, right? And you'll do it.
Right.
Good. That's true.
Somebody
I would
asked,
say,
go ahead, Ruthie, then I'll
I
bring
was
up the
just
question.
going to address that. When this all happened with my parents 12 years ago, I was already in the habit of taking care of myself and exercising regularly. We had a gym membership, and I, was just really proactive about that. So that's one thing you can be doing right now before the emergency happens, is already being in the habit of taking care of yourself. Because when this happened with my dad and my mom, I would take my gym bag to the hospital on the shifts, and then I would go work out and then come back. And I was even criticized for that by a family member, but I knew I had to do it to keep my sanity because it was such a high level anxiety situation and era.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think too, as women, maternally, whether we're moms or just daughters of, I think it's really hard for us too to ask for help. Don't you think? I know even my husband and I always took on, being the mom, I took on really the majority of the caregiving of my son. But I think it's important to ask for help, don't you think? And seeing if you can either have family members or outside help come in. Do you suggest that at all? Or do you, is there outside resources that you can lead someone to that's watching right now to get maybe some extra help?
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
really passionate about that. Sorry, Suzette, you
No,
go
go
first.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let that passion out. Go.
Yeah. That is a hot topic for me because I try to do it on my own for the first 9 years, 8 or 9 years. And I did. And I went everywhere. I was in all kinds of doctor's offices all the time.
Yeah.
But then it finally came to my own husband had cancer one summer, and he was being treated in Florida, so I needed to be with him. Then my mom broke her hip, and she was here in West Virginia. And so I knew then that I had to get some help and get something in place. And that's when I was advised to reach out to the state, the programs there, and I was able to. Well, it was a long time and it was a lot of paperwork, but I was able to get her mom at least qualified. So that meant someone was in the home that could at least see dad. And then, so we got help that way for housekeeping. And then we also got Meals on Wheels.
Okay, good.
And then I just even started asking friends in the church to just stop in if those, if anything happened that those people couldn't be there.
Yeah. Or
And
even
it
just
was
just a break for you, like you said, to go, to go work out or go shopping.
Yeah.
That is, so
Yeah.
it is really, really important. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. We have through the I want to say it's our county mental health.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to sign up for respite care and also a program, like a day program my sister could go to. And she had gone to school till she was 26. But then after that, she just was at home, So we got her involved in a day program, and she went 5 days a week for a while. She was doing fabulous before Alzheimer's, came and stole everything. But anyway, but respite, to your point, is so important. And we feel guilty about that as caregivers. I should be doing something. I should be doing whatever it is. Whatever it is, you should be doing it. You're not allowed to have an hour to go take a walk or
Right.
go out to dinner with your husband or go to visit family or your grandkids or something like that. Well, yes, you are. Yes, you are. And you will be that much better for it when you come back. And there are people who do this. They come into your home and they will take, someone out, or you can go out,
Yeah.
and that's just to get a different perspective and realize you are a person, you are still a person and you can be, but you have to, as Ruthie said, go through the paperwork. There is a lot of paperwork, a lot of time, a lot of patience involved to get that help. But it is available. Your local area on aging, 1B, is also a great source.
Mm-hmm.
Say that one more time. What
Your
was that?
local, it's local area on aging.
Aging. Wonderful.
Area on aging, yes. It's
Okay,
it's
great.
another really good source. Yeah.
Great.
Or in our area, it's called Commission on Aging.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Very
So
good.
you can seek out whatever yours might be called, but someone in the questions commented to be financially, ready as possible as you can, because you just don't know what's going to come, and you and your spouse may even have things that you have to take care of for yourself. So being financially ready. I know I worked in. This was when I still had kids at home, but I worked in an adult day center where people would drop off their, parents who needed help during the day. So, if that's a financial possibility, that also gives you a little bit of a break even if it's just for a few hours, So, yeah, for sure. So there's a lot of people listening. If you have comments, drop them in the comments or questions in the question box. But let's talk about, I know both of you have entrepreneur things that you're also doing while you're juggling all this. I mean, you guys are expert jugglers. So let's talk about a little bit about what you both do, because we, don't want to go too long. We want to be aware of the time. But Suzette, I love what you're doing on your Instagram account. Tell us a little about that.
I guess went on a mission here a couple years ago, and then honed it in this year thanks to this lady here on the other screen here, Ruthie, honed it into caregiving. I want to, encourage other caregivers on the IG account, also on my blog, and I have a monthly newsletter too. I'm trying to help them learn. I don't know that you can shortcut going through it, or do you have to just go through it, but to how to deal with, your life changing to become this caregiver and all the
we lost it.
all the emotions that go with it, and how to deal with those, and also to share some tips, make their life easier. Things that I learned along the way, just to it's like staying organized, how that can save you time, little things like that. Sure. But also all of this, to lean on God and His strength, because one of these days, and probably many days, you're going to feel like you ran out of it. Right. But you won't. If you lean on Him, He's going to give you the strength you need for that day.
So people that need that encouragement, go sign up for Suzette's newsletter and follow her on the IG because she has some really good tips and pointers and encouragement. I love that.
Yeah.
And Ruthie is an entrepreneur with authentic online marketing, to which Suzette and I both have been mentored by Ruthie. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing, what you have going on right now.
Well, it's AuthenticOnlineMarketing.com, and we have several programs that we offer. We have Authentic Online Marketing School, which is a blend of Instagram and email marketing, and you get you craft your welcome series and all that. We're just halfway through the month with that right now. It's open several times a year. Then I have my insider mentorship, which really hones in on Instagram too, which Suzette and Suzanne are both a part of, and it's just a really strong community that supports each other. Brainstorming, mastermind, get lots of input on what you're doing, and then I do personal coaching as well. But what I'm really excited about right now is I'm getting ready to start a 30-day story challenge. It's free, and we're getting the sign-up page ready. But if you have any interest at all in that, I'm not going to say you can't post, because you can still post if you want, but it's really to hone in on how to use your stories. And there's a way to get non-followers watching your stories and even gain followers through your stories. And develop that community, because stories that's where you get your clients and your purchasers. Stories and email lists. So we're going to talk a lot about that. So send me a DM if you want some information, or follow me. You'll see it.
Gosh, I mean, that's so much great stuff. And it's really juggling and being able to have resources, whether, both of you are offering amazing resources, whether you are working outside of the home full time, or if you are, a social seller, or, on Instagram doing things like that. Either way, trying to find that time to juggle your own, things that you're passionate about and or just working. I mean, we have, and I know for me as well, when my son, when we found out that he was ill and everything, I was working. I actually had a full-time scrapbook store where I ran that business pretty much on my own. And so having to kind of balance that, and then now I'm just working from home, which helps so much. But still, you have to balance all of that and have those resources. What else can we offer up? I know that we're going to share all of this information, right? See if we have any questions here. So one gal was asking, just really quick, Suzette, maybe you can answer this. Give some advice for Alzheimer's.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That's probably we could do a whole episode on that.
We could do a whole episode on that and more. But yeah, it's very hard, and it changes every day. And I would just say, pray. Get yourself a good neurologist that you're comfortable with, that you can ask questions and feel like you're getting answers you can understand, and seek out resources to help you.
And be your own advocate, don't you believe?
Yes. Oh, yes, yes.
I know with the mental health issues that my son deals with, I had to learn and be my own mental health advocate. I needed to educate myself, educate family members, educate friends. And, if you aren't happy with a doctor or a facility or something, then, go shop and you go find
change.
You
said something very important. Educate yourself. Yeah. If it's something you need to get online at least, or wherever you can get your information, and educate yourself. You'll be a better advocate for it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we certainly appreciate you ladies chatting with us today. We could go on for an hour probably or more about these things, but people that are just now getting on can go back and listen to the recording that we will have posted on our accounts. And we're on YouTube, so you can find our episodes there. But we really appreciate you ladies being on with us today. And your expertise is so valuable in sharing, and we appreciate that so much. it's almost like, adolescence. I mean, you don't really know what's happening to your body in adolescence, and you don't really understand what's happening to your body when you're aging as well. So we appreciate that you ladies have such encouragement and tips on how to live through that and help others through it. So thanks so much for sharing today.
Thanks for having us.
This was
All
great.
right. Good. Y'all go follow these ladies. You can find
Yes.
them up there. And Karen and I will be back next week with another MidLife Besties episode. Talk to you
Yes.
later.
Thank you,
Thank
gals.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.